Today, we're diving into a fascinating case from the files of Elliott Advocacy. It's a story about a simple eBay purchase that just spirals into this bizarre, frustrating mystery. You've got a first-time buyer, a luxury watch, and a company that flat out refused to give a refund. All right, let's get into it. So it all kicks off with this really desperate plea from a guy named Ken Sears. Just imagine for a second this is your first time ever using a huge site like eBay. You make one purchase, and this is the message you end up having to send to a consumer advocate. I mean, talk about a complete nightmare scenario, right?
So yeah, let's break down what we're calling the impossible refund.
The way this all went down is just weird. First, Ken creates an account and buys himself a Tag Heuer watch. Seems normal enough. But literally moments later, eBay suspends his brand new account. And then here's the final twist. A package shows up with the right tracking number and everything, but inside is a magazine. And this right here really gets to the heart of the whole mess. What he expected was a luxury watch. What he actually got was a Better Homes and Gardens magazine. I mean, this isn't some simple mix-up, right? It's a totally different and obviously way less valuable item. It's absurd.
And let's not forget about the money at stake here. $438. For a first purchase on a new site, that is a ton of money to just disappear into thin air.
So naturally, Ken contacts eBay. He's probably thinking, okay, this is a weird mistake, but they'll fix it. But instead, he gets this message. They tell him his account is permanently banned and their money-back guarantee no longer applies. Think about that. The one thing that's supposed to protect you as a buyer, poof, gone. How is that even possible? Okay, so let's try to make sense of this because on the surface, it makes no sense at all. Let's unpack the huge contradiction in eBay's logic here. So the first most obvious question is, why? I mean, from Ken's point of view, he did everything right. He signed up, he found something he wanted, and he paid for it. So why the immediate ban hammer? Well, the answer seems to be buried in eBay's fraud detection algorithm. You have to think about it from their systems perspective for a second. A brand new account's very first purchase is a pricey $400 plus luxury watch. That's a huge red flag for an automated system. So even after they ran a verification check, their system basically just concluded, nope, this account is way too risky. Okay, fine. So the suspension, while frustrating, kind of makes a certain type of cold automated sense. But that leads to the much bigger question. Even if eBay's computers think the buyer is risky, the seller is the one who sent a magazine instead of a watch. So why on earth would you deny the refund? Let's just look at the actual policy here. eBay's money-back guarantee is crystal clear. It's there to protect buyers if, 1, they don't get an item, or 2, if the item they get is significantly different from the description. A magazine instead of a watch is, I think we can all agree, the textbook definition of that. And here's the real kicker. The guarantee is supposed to protect the transaction, not the account status. It shouldn't matter one bit if an account is new, old, or even suspended. If the seller didn't deliver the goods as promised, the policy applies, period. So eBay was completely contradicting its own rules. Now, before we get to the end of Ken's story, let's pull some lessons from this whole mess. This is the consumer's playbook for what to do if you ever find yourself in a situation like this. So here's your 3-step plan. First, document everything. Ken was brilliant here. He took a picture of the magazine right next to the package with the tracking number clearly visible. That's hard evidence. Second, if the first line of customer service gives you a ridiculous answer, escalate, go up the chain, find the contact info for company executives. And third, know what other tools you have, like filing a dispute with your credit card company. But hey, a quick word of caution on those credit card chargebacks. They're a super powerful tool, don't get me wrong, but sometimes they can have this unintended consequence. Filing a chargeback can sometimes freeze a company's internal review, which can actually slow things down on their end. It's a great option, but you have to be strategic about when you use it. So Ken had done everything he was supposed to, but he was just stuck. He'd hit a brick wall, and eBay just wasn't budging. He needed someone to break the stalemate. He needed an advocate's intervention. And that is when the pros got involved. Ken reached out to Christopher Elliott and his team, and these are folks who specialize in untangling exactly these kinds of corporate messes. And you know what? As soon as these expert advocates got involved, the case wrapped up and the resolution was incredibly fast. Just look at the difference here. The outcome was a complete 180. Before advocacy, the refund was denied and the account was suspended. After advocacy, a full $438 refund and his account was reinstated. A total win. So how did it happen? Did it take weeks of fighting, legal threats? Nope. It took just one email from the advocacy team to get eBay to completely reverse its decision. That just shows you the power of knowing who to talk to and how to frame the problem. The impossible refund? Well, it suddenly became very possible. And that really brings us to our final thought. Ken Soares got his money back. He got justice because he found the right people to help him. But his case leaves you with this really nagging question. What about everyone else? What happens to all the other people who run into a corporate wall like this and they don't know who to call for help?